Wonder Woman trailer has... No, we're not live? Hey, Internet! Welcome to Screen Junkies News. The Wonder Woman trailer has dropped, and we are here live breaking it down for you. I'm your host, Hector Navarro. We have got an incredible panel here of experts. Let's just get right into it because you guys are chomping at the bit for some Wonder Woman trailer stuff. Let's do it. Let me introduce our panel. We're going to have them introduce themselves on the far left. He's a good buddy of mine, but go for it. Who we got?
Hi, I'm Mark Andreyko, a frequent guest here. I also am currently co-writing Batman 66, Wonder Woman 77, and The Death of Hawkman for DC.
Yes, which is fantastic, Mark. Death of Hawkman is really, really great. Yeah, Danielle.
Hi, I'm Danielle Radford. I one of the co-hosts of the Tights and Fights wrestling podcast on the Max Fun Network, and also Screen Junkies News.
Dan Merle. I'm just generally around.
Yeah, okay.
You probably know me from movie fights.
It's Dan Merle. Okay,
exactly.
Great. All right, cool. Guys, thank you so much for being here. We've got some Wonder Woman experts. We are ready to break this trailer down. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. All right, guys, come on. Let's pull it up. We're going to pull up the trailer right now. We're going to scrub through it and give our initial thoughts and our reactions. First of all, let's stop right here. Actually, go to that next clip. Sorry, that next shot. Because the first thing that I noticed is that we have a framing device in this film. This is a prequel. This is a movie that is set during World War I, but we are having a modern-day Gal Gadot go visit the Louvre, and so that's going to be our framing device. What do we make of that, guys?
Well, that's a very familiar picture to anyone that's saw Batman v Superman. That was, I believe, emailed to her by Bruce Wayne in the first movie. I'm glad that there's a hard copy of it, and it's not just a PDF file.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's going to see some piece of art within the Louvre that will stimulate the backstory, whether it's a map or a painting or something that, or maybe something that Chris Pine gave to her or something like that was the framing device.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or even like a painting or something that kind of depicts something that she was at in the war.
Sure. She's an art
Well, that would be
expert.
great if there was an urn, like a Grecian urn that she's on.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That would be super
That'd be
cool.
so cool. Well, question to you guys: do you think that there's a possibility that the third act of this is set in modern day? That Wonder Woman fights some sort of threat, or do you think it's all going to be World War I?
I think it's going to be more like Captain America. I think because we already saw her in Batman v Superman, I think that eliminated the need for the third act to be modern day. I think there'll be a framing device, and I think it'll probably be her and Batman talking about we need to gather these other heroes as a stepping stone into the Justice League.
Ben Affleck's going to be in it.
I'm sure we'll get that announced. I have no insider information,
That's
but
great.
I would imagine that would be the post, the credits teaser or anything like that. But I can't imagine. There's so much stuff going on with World War I, with Steve Trevor, and with who rumored villains are. I can't imagine that they would put that into an hour and then have a half an hour of modern day.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely going to be a little bit of that kind of like Avengers. We're putting together a team at the end of it with the Ben Affleck and maybe someone else that we would see, but I don't think we're going to spend a whole lot of time in the modern era.
It'd be great to see her have a scene with Amanda Waller.
Oh,
I want to see.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
She, like Amanda Waller tries to recruit her for the Suicide Squad, and she's like, no, I've got a leak going. I'm good.
She's like, you think you're a powerful woman? I come from an island of them.
Yeah. No, nothing special. Yeah.
I do think, though, that they are holding something back because, looking at the trailer and knowing that Wonder Woman is a very, you want to talk about DC having the superheroes that are the gods. Wonder Woman is probably the closest to that. This trailer shows us very earthbound. It's very, in the world of humanity. It's very much World War I and the conflict with humans. And I wonder if they're holding back a little something that,
they're
that
holding
goes
back
to
the
Wonder
villain.
Woman's bigger. Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to that. The last thing I want to pull up before we move on with the trailer, guys, is a question for you. Again, perfect, beautiful. The idea of this being a prequel. Now, Captain America has that excuse of having been frozen since World War II. Is this any sort of a challenge that they have to undertake with convincing us that Wonder Woman just stopped being a hero at the end of World War I?
If we go with the established mythology in the comic books that she's not a superhero, she's a goddess or a demigoddess or just an immortal creature created out of clay. After the Renaissance and everything, it would make sense that they would retreat. But we do see the impetus for her coming to the man's world in the trailer. We see that scene when the soldiers are on Paradise Island.
Absolutely.
And that bullet, I don't know how far into the trailer that is, but that bullet.
Let's go ahead. Let's scrub forward a little bit. But the question I've got is that at the end of the events of Wonder Woman, the movie, at the end of World War I, why doesn't she stay in man's world if it is so troubled? Is kind of the thing.
Well, we'll find out because she says in Batman v Superman, it's been 100 years since I've been here.
Right. So this is, I guess, Chris Pine's entrance to the movie.
Beautiful Themyscira, beautiful shots. Then we get a glimpse
I think, Mark, this is what you were talking about here.
Yes.
Yeah, the scene
This
coming
is the
up,
shot.
we see one of the soldiers fire a bullet, and then we do the slow-mo bullet cam as Diana knocks Chris Pine, I believe, out of the way. And it looks like an Amazon gets killed, which the Amazon, her reaction on Diana's face right here is looking like, what is this weapon? Weapons sure have changed from swords to the man's world, because she's all about peace, and she would also not want these people on her island.
Now,
All conjecture based on what we're seeing here.
Is this going to be the calling card, I wonder, for the DCEU, though, is slow-mo watching something pass them by in profile? Because The Flash also had a shot very similar to this.
Yeah.
So stylistically, it looks like they're, trying.
The trailer, and especially we're 8 months out from the movie's release.
Yeah.
So we've also gotten spoiled in that we want new trailers every 2 weeks. I'm assuming the villain will be revealed in the last trailer right before the movie comes out, and we'll get a big, great reveal of who this character is and who we all know it probably is.
Let's keep moving forward, Jonathan, on that trailer. Thank you so much.
I want a side-by-side of Ezra Miller and Gal Gadot both doing that.
Yeah. So what do we think of the look of Themyscira? What do we think of the look of this lost Paradise Island?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love. There's a shot, and you'll be able to see it where you can kind of see the whole. You can see kind of the whole city, and it looks like all these buildings built on kind of like a cliffside.
Very Lord of the
and you get
Rings.
to see that. Yeah, it's
Lord of the
really
Rings,
gorgeous.
and Clash of the Titans, but with a budget. The fact that everybody needs to take a breath and be grateful that we live in an era where movies about superheroes look like this.
Yes.
Well, and it really offsets, there's been some criticism of the look of the first two movies in this universe being very dark and gritty. And what I like about this is that the world of man does look kind of similar, but it's to offset, obviously. This is very bright.
Yeah, we have sunshine and crisp blue waters and white sand. It's like,
it works as a great comparison.
Even those warm tones when I think we're in Germany, I think is the European nation where these soldiers are in World War I. If you're definitely offsetting the darker blue-toned films look that Batman vs. Superman had, certainly Man of Steel, and a little bit of Suicide Squad.
Well, it's nice when the palette is a character. When the palette on the scenes, and this movie has a really beautiful. Every single frame we've seen of this could be a painting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now go forward, and after these initial shots, when we have that
Raiders of the Lost Ark, look at that.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's keep going forward, Jonathan. When we get to that shot on the battlefield, let's talk about this, guys. When we go forward, because again, this shot on the battlefield, if you keep scrolling forward, is definitely World War I. It's very gritty, and we'll go back to this here in a little bit. But my absolute favorite shot of the trailer, my favorite moment. Keep going forward. Wonder Woman is gathering her tools and items in Themyscira. Oh, first of all, pause right there. Let's
direct.
That's the best kind of nostalgia porn.
Exactly.
Yes.
It stands on its own and works conceptually with the character, but it's a nod to the history that brought us here.
Yeah.
And it's not smug. And it's not lazy. It's as subtle as that sort of homage can get.
Yeah.
And the role reversal of the woman saving the guy. I love that.
I didn't even think about
love
that.
that Chris Pine is playing Fay Wray in King Kong, or Lois Lane in a Superman movie.
bullet's hot.
I love that he is the damsel in distress in this, and it's so and none of it is being force fed down our throat. It's all so subtle. And we talked about this briefly before about representation being everything.
Yeah.
So many little girls, their lives are going to change from that scene alone, and that's awesome. I wish I had a daughter. I wish I had a 10-year-old girl to say, "Hey, look at this," because it's going to inspire a whole new generation of artists that have been left alone.
If we go forward a little bit, they even one up the sort of classic Superman scene, because then she sort of bullet deflects a bunch of other shots in that alley, which is great. These shots and that shot above is fantastic. But even a little bit after this, to me, I want to one up you, Mark Andreyko. I want to one up you. The scene that's changed girls' lives when they see it is this shot of Wonder Woman coming up out of this bunker. Because in the trailer, the music swells. We can talk about the music for a second. I mean, and just that shot right there is iconic.
That looks like that might be the first full reveal of her costume.
Yes.
Because if you notice, it looks like they're playing with the color correction here. The blues and the reds and the golds on her costume that everyone complained about in the teaser poster for Batman v Superman. She's vivid. She stands out on that battlefield.
Yes.
She's a target. She's the target. It's kind of like Frank Miller in Dark Knight Returns saying that Batman wore a yellow thing because that's a target. Right. Her being this beacon of color is not only hope and life on a battlefield, but it draws attention to her.
Yeah, that's going to be,
look at that.
At Comic-Con from now on, when they are doing their big presentations and in every supercut of the DC EU movies, that's shot is going to be,
That's the applause moment for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit, Daniel. I want you to talk about the villain in this trailer. Let's scroll back to the shot of that gas tank, that mask, that World War I mustard gas, and the woman, the female character who's looking at it behind the glass right here, the shot right afterwards with the woman with the cracked mask. Daniel, do you have a take on who this villain might be?
We were talking about it earlier. Some people are thinking it might be Medusa, so we can go back to some of the kind of Greek mythology of the Wonder Woman character. And some people are thinking it's Dr. Poison because of the, you can see that the Germans are clearly trying to create some kind of poison weapon. It shatters the mask. And then there's a scene, and when it goes from here, the next scene after Houston kind of talks about how, we're going to take over the world, you see her roll something under, and I think they kind of tease it like it's a bomb, but when you look closely, it almost looks like a gas canister.
Okay. So
I'm
you're
interested to
leaning
see.
on Dr. Poison? Is that kind of where you're at?
I'm thinking so.
Especially with the scarred face, because that tethers back into Wonder Woman's history.
Yeah.
There was a villain who had her face get scarred. And maybe Diana saves her, and she blames Diana for the scar on her face, if you want to make that connective tissue there. But I think it's Dr. Poison for sure, because Medusa, her eyes, looking at Medusa turned you to stone, and her eyes are exposed. So
Can you give us a little bit of background info? Because Wonder Woman has a rogues gallery that I don't think is as iconic as Batman's or Superman's or Spider-Man's or other superhero characters. Tell us a little bit about Dr. Poison, Mark, being a Wonder Woman comic book writer and expert.
Well, Dr. Poison was just a doctor who was good with poison. She
Great.
was. I mean,
Great.
it's pretty much. She was pretty much. There's no subtlety in her
Very
name.
on the nose, yeah.
But she did have some facial issues and blamed them, depending on the permutation of Wonder Woman, blamed them on Wonder Woman. So
Yeah, and I was just doing some quick research, and according to the New 52 version of the character, she had parents who were killed by Russia after the United States tried to recruit the parents to maybe be spies for them, and the parents refused, and Russia found out, and Russia killed, because she was a Russian character, killed these parents of her, and then she blamed the United States. So she has this sort of like, militaristic, maybe a viewpoint. She sees the United States as an enemy.
well, and
which-
Russia was a big part of World War I as well.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely,
that opens
yeah.
it up a lot.
Cool. Let's hop back into that trailer. Let's keep scrolling through after this scene with maybe Dr. Poison, and there was that canister there. We've got Danny Houston as... Some people are saying, is he Ares, the god of war, or is he just a German character? Let's freeze frame on Danny there, right there. What do you think, guys?
I think he's just a general. I believe his accent sounds German in this. I don't think Ares as a god would deign to pretend to be a human. I think that's counterintuitive.
So he'll
to
have a
who-
British accent.
So when
He's
we
an evil character.
yeah, because
When we see Ares-
he's
Gods
from,
only
he's from
have
ancient
British
Greece and he's
accents.
British. Yeah.
Got it. Gotcha. Okay, great. Okay, and then again, for Ares to work, he needs to draw the power of humanity to kind of engage in.
Well, yeah, I
warfare.
mean,
Yeah.
you're setting up a period movie for most Americans that don't even know what World War I was or when it happened. So this trailer makes sense to do that, and you save the big villain reveal for the final trailer.
All right, let's keep scrolling through that trailer, guys. Thank you, Jonathan, for scrubbing with us. Appreciate it. Okay, keep it going. Okay, question for you, Dan. Is there
Yeah.
more Chris Pine in this trailer or less? Because I heard a little bit of a debate going on than the
Compared to
previous
last time, a
trailer.
bit of a better grasp on his character and particularly his role as, I think he probably had a few more lines in the first trailer, but I feel like, again, with the alleyway scene that we saw, kind of with her rescuing him at the beginning,
Yeah.
I think I got a better grasp on his role, which is, they're not... It's not, a sidekick. If anything, he's the sidekick. It's a bit of going to be a lot focused on their chemistry together, but more of the humor, I think, than maybe the romance, which would be
Right.
nice as well.
Because I do feel like with that first trailer, it seemed like it was very Steve heavy.
Okay.
Just in terms of how it kind of presented the story. So it's nice, like, I don't mind watching Chris Pine take a back seat to Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering too. This is just sort of coming to me if Steve Trevor, if he's one and done, because I don't know how they're going to keep him alive in the 21st century.
I mean, we had Peggy
That
Carter
could-
in a bunch of stuff.
True. Flashback.
But that was all period stuff, and
Sure,
then we had
sure,
her be
sure.
150 years old.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Chris Pine's dies saving Wonder or helping Wonder Woman, and that's also part of her impetus because she feels responsibility for she saved him and he dies. That's
a good-
also
that's good.
also a good micro motive for her as opposed to the big man's
Absolutely.
world thing.
Absolutely. Now here's the challenge though. What if the story presented Wonder Woman as a character who quit from helping in man's world because her boyfriend died? Is that something that they again might want to try to avoid, or can it?
Well,
be...
it doesn't have to be
You're
her
putting
boyfriend.
you're putting
Yeah.
sexist glasses on, and I'm
Hey,
talking
I
about
wish I
I'm
wasn't,
talking
but
about
yeah, I am.
someone because I don't even know if they're going to have a romantic relationship
Yeah.
in this.
Right.
If he dies on a mission that she organized, there's a responsibility. The same way when Bucky died in Captain America, I think it
It's
could be
Steve,
potentially
yeah.
more of that. I don't think it's going to be. I think we need to. I think the trailer's shown that the gender roles are out the window for this. So,
hope so.
hopefully it won't be a traditional romance thing.
Okay, let's go. Let's hop back into that trailer, guys. Let's see what our next beat is. Here we go. All right, so we've got Wonder Woman gathering her materials and probably disobeying the orders of her mom, right? That's what we were expecting to happen.
there we go.
Okay, cool. Let's go here a little bit. We're still in the modern world. There's some jokes about her being the secretary. And then we have this fantastic, iconic moment. Again, we went through this, which was great. Probably the first reveal of her trailer. This has got a great rhythm.
That's a great rhythm, and this was a shot that they repeated, and I'm glad from the first trailer. I mean, that's great. Not this one, but the next one. Portrayal of how she's going to kind of blend in a way into this modern world, which is that she'll play the part. But I love that it's kind of like she's got
a sword.
The sword on her back is kind of the equivalent of Clark Kent ripping open her shirt. She presents herself as this demure, beautiful woman, but she's got.
I want to see that cosplay next year and later this year at cons. I want to see women wearing beautiful dresses with gnarly swords tucked behind there. That's amazing. That's great.
That's great.
Okay, we've got after this Chris Pine looking up. Now tell me that's not a look of romance though, the way that he looks at her. Right?
He's a soldier.
Yeah. Okay.
He's been behind enemy lines for a while.
Okay,
Plus, it's a trailer. Who knows who he's
and it's Gal Gadot. I'm looking at her that way, and I'm gay as a silk purse.
He could be looking at Danny Houston. Who knows who Chris Pine's looking at right now?
That's the slash fiction.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows?
Let's move forward past this, guys. Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, we've got Wonder Woman in the battlefield. We've got some great plane pilot stuff. Guys, sorry, that was romance right there. That was her tenderly touching his face. But again, maybe just soldiers. I don't know. It's soldiers' friendship, yeah.
Strange things happen in foxholes.
There's a lot of petting in foxholes.
All right, so let's keep moving forward. Chris Pine getting in on the action there. What do we think of this? Is this CG? Or was that an actual stunt that Gal Gadot did?
Well, I think it's more just like either way. I mean, it looks great.
Good.
And it's smart because they set it at night, so it looks even better with the CG stuff is hidden. But well, she was in the Israeli army, so she actually is not a shrinking violet. So she can. I would imagine she did a lot of her own stunts.
Well, and I just like how they're presenting the choreography of this movie, which is just that she is as DC you would say a metahuman, but it's different style. It's a different style than Batman.
There's a grace. There's a grace to it.
Speaking about her power set,
she's a warrior.
She's a warrior. Speaking about her power set, people have been wondering if Wonder Woman in this universe will fly like she does in the comic books, or if she will not.
She glides on currents of air. She doesn't really fly.
That's true.
Mark
That's a good distinction. So will she glide on currents of air in
this
universe or not? What do we think?
Might be well, that was a better shot of what might be Dr. Poison.
Let's go back to Dr. Poison a little bit.
How about this? I want the licensed glow in the dark lasso.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
I want one of those now.
Can they figure that technology? That's just a glow stick that can bend, right? We can figure that out. We can do that, right? So here's another great shot of potentially Dr. Poison. I think that actress's name is Elena Anaya, I believe, Spanish or Latina actress. And we've got, Wonder Woman.
Lasso action.
The glowing lasso is such a simple effect, but it's so powerful, and I can't believe no one ever did it before. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, that's such an obvious choice.
It feels like it even took a while for me to see it in iconic comic book covers, Wonder Woman covers. I feel like there's a striking, oh my gosh, what was the artist's name? Michael Turner art for, I think, Identity Crisis, where it's all black and she's in shadow, and then the glowing light is sort of lighting her up. It's a great cover.
It looks like it's just made out of electricity and truth.
Yeah, let's hop back into that trailer. Here we go.
It smells like a cologne.
Electricity and truth.
Keep going forward. So it looks like a facility. Look at that.
Again,
that's
more of that. It's this choreography that I love. It's just that they're giving her a different look and a different style.
Oh, there was a little bit of leaping.
That shot right there. That's going to be right there with the right there. That is a T-shirt. That's a poster. That's
a T-shirt.
And that also, I think, is a hint. One of the few hints of this trailer at something otherworldly going on in this movie.
Lightning from Ares, maybe? And it's blue. Ares' armor is blue in the comic books.
Who knows? Yeah.
Let's go back to the shot right before this. Just scroll back just a little bit. Okay, there we go. This shot right here where she's leaping up into action. Is this just the leap? Is this gliding on air currents? Is this flying? Is she hopping into an invisible jet? What's going on?
Well, I don't know.
She's feel like we're avoiding the invisible jet in this, right? I feel like there's enough real jets. We don't need an invisible one.
It would be the invisible biplane at this period, so I don't know if that really...
Well, if the Mascarian technology, would that not? No.
They didn't know what bullets were.
They didn't know what bullets were, that's right. Man, do you guys think we're going to see the invisible jet in a future Wonder Woman movie or Justice League movie?
Oh, no.
Oh, what? Come on. We saw Red Wing, the Falcon's bird sidekick. We saw that in Captain America: Civil War. We're not going to.
We saw a drone named Red Wing. We didn't see a real bird.
But that's what I'm saying. Can we see something that's kind of the invisible jet? No.
I just want a dance remix of the TV show theme song.
Oh, that's the credits.
I mean, get like an all-girl group. Get like Beyonce and Lady Gaga to do this big proto-feminist Wonder Woman thing. you get the girls and the gays. It's done. It pays for 5 sequels.
Let's hop back into the trailer. I think we're just about wrapped up with the trailer here. Let's go ahead and keep scrolling
And then,
through.
of course, they had that great theme that they introduced in Batman
How
v
do we feel
Superman.
about the theme?
I love the theme.
Yeah? Okay.
It's great. And then I want to give a shout out to, I mean, comedically,
Yes.
This is
Lucy
Lucy
Davis.
Davis, who you may or may not know, but if you watch The Office and you like Pam, she was the original character. She originated that character. It wasn't called Pam. It was Dawn in the UK office. Very, 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 very funny actress.
And they cast a woman with the shape of a woman as Etta
Yes.
Candy, because Etta in the comic books going back was always a full-figured gal, and the fact that they cast a good character actress playing this part once again shows that it's not Jada Pinkett Smith playing the part. It's a woman who looks like a period film there.
Right, and
a
I
personal
love
note, also in my favorite movie of all time, Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead, that's
She's great,
right.
man. I love the humor in this because it doesn't feel slapped on, I think, in a lot of the ways that we kind of got from the Suicide Squad trailer. This feels like the humor is already something that's built into the movie without it being some sort of corny, all of a sudden we're in a slapstick movie.
Gotcha.
And
jokes.
Etta is going to be, I think, from just the pieces we've seen in both these trailers, is going to be the audience identification character. You're going to be able to comment on feminism and gender roles and places in society in a contemporary way through her, because we'll filter it through her. And that's so smart. It makes your audience lean in, and once you get them to lean in, you got them for at least 2 sequels. And I think it's a masterful trailer. You got to give your hats off to DC. No matter what you think of the finished product, their trailers are really effective.
Their trailers are great. I mean, I think there was the one kind of misstep to some people with Batman v Superman maybe showing a little bit too much in that second trailer, but they know how to cut a great trailer.
Yeah.
That music worked beautifully with it. That's going to be awesome. Let's get into some of our final thoughts, guys. We're going to start over here on the left with Mr. Mark Andreyko. Mark, give us your final thoughts of that trailer. Wrap it out for us.
I think it's great. The fan in me wishes we had seen more. I wish we had revealed the villain, but I realized, like I had said, I'm taking my own advice. We're 8 months out.
Yeah.
But I think this builds effectively on the first trailer and raises more questions that make me want to see another trailer. And ultimately, that's what a trailer's job is. So I think it works really well.
Absolutely. Danielle?
Yeah, this is the most excited I have been for any of the DC movies. This is like it's the Peggy Carter movie that I wanted. It's the Xena movie that I wanted.
Yeah.
It's this is, I mean, not that everything should be made for me, but it should be. This is a movie a DC movie that feels like it was made specifically for Danielle Radford. It's just like boss chick, kicking ass, saving little dudes. I'm so into this.
Dan?
I mean, as somebody, I'm not very well versed in the Wonder Woman lore. Just as a movie fan, what was refreshing to me is that, whereas Batman v Superman from the trailers, I think felt like tonally a continuation of Man of Steel, this one feels completely different. It feels very fresh, original. It's set in a completely different time period. I think we're gonna have very few overlap as far as characters, and different is the name of the game right now for me with comic book movies. Is if you can bring something new, excited about it, and I think that this shows that they're at least trying to do that. So, I'm on board.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're about to close out, but before we do, I want to be sure to highlight some really cool projects and stuff that our panel is working on. Dan, can you let everybody know where to find you
Absolutely.
online?
Well, you can find me here on Screen Junkies News, but also next Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm premiering a new show on Screen Junkies Plus called Dan's Labyrinth. We're going to be breaking down, when this movie comes out, we're going to be breaking that down. We're going to be breaking down Doctor Strange, Arrival, all the Oscar movies. Cool. I'm super excited. You can check me out there starting next Monday live. Every Monday at 4 o'clock.
Awesome. All right, Danielle.
Every Thursday, my podcast Tyson Fights goes up. If you like wrestling, you can see me there. Find me on Twitter at just Danielle Radford, and you can see me here on Screen Junkies News.
Yes. Awesome. Excellent. Mark.
Batman 66, Wonder Woman 77 is in print in January with an Alex Ross cover, 6 issues, and it'll be digitally in December. I'm currently writing The Death of Hawkman, the 2nd issue of which just came out.
It's really good.
And in December, this book I've curated to raise money for the victims of the Orlando Pulse Massacre comes out called Love is Love. It's 144 pages of every name in comic books, film, and TV, and literature. We'll be announcing some big names closer. It's the $10 book for 144 pages, and every penny goes to victims and survivors of Orlando.
Every penny.
So pre-order it today, either from idwpublishing.com or your local comic store. It's going to be a great book, and it goes to a great cause.
That's excellent. Guys, pre-order those copies now. Literally every penny goes to the charity. It's amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here and helping us break down this Wonder Woman trailer.
Yes.
But guys, we want to know what you think, so let us know in the comments below what you thought of the Wonder Woman trailer. If we missed anything, if we provided some insight that you're like, oh, cool, I didn't think about that, let us know below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Screen Junkies News. Bye!